Hello and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. So today's episode is entitled Adding Doesn't Help. And I'm going to start with kind of a bit of my business journey, really, in terms of how I used to help people. So I used to be a hypnotherapist, and I helped people, I guess, from a place of seeing that they were broken and it was my job to fix them. Now, the other thing that I did alongside my hypnotherapy one-to-one work was I did talks and workshops and some speaking stuff. And this all kind of started by accident because I felt okay a lot of the time, well, some of the time. And I thought I felt okay because I had this complicated morning routine. And those things are, the miracle morning and such like, they are really clever at lulling us into thinking that they're working. Because if we believe they're working, we will notice in our lives, because of that belief, that we feel better for doing them. But I was doing my morning routine from a place of like hanging on to it, my well-being by my fingernail ends. But I thought it was clever and I thought it was working, and I innocently thought it would be a really good idea to share it with other people. So I started by sharing some of the things I did with my clients, but then I started to do some networking and I started being invited or putting myself forward to speak about my journey through burnout and to share this set of tools, I suppose, and techniques that I was using on a day-to-day basis. And I called the talk Stress to Success Habits. And I started off just doing it at networking events, but then it became a workshop, which I then shared in businesses. So that's all very well. I would go into businesses and I would share stress to success habits, and I would walk out of those workshops thinking I had done those people a favour. Absolutely was sure of it. I had given them everything they needed to find their well-being outside of them. And I'm laughing because I'm laughing at myself. I'm laughing at the misunderstanding. I think it's the best place to come from because I'm not going to start beating myself up when I didn't know what I know now, or anybody else who's doing that kind of thing. So this is how I see it now, fundamentally differently, is that I was going into businesses to work with groups of people who were already stressed. The reason their business owners or managers or whoever had invited me in was that they were A, concerned about the stress levels of their staff, but B, trying to provide something to help their staff have a better experience of work, to not be so stressed, to not be off sick, I guess, and to not be suffering from mental illness. But my workshop came from a fundamental misunderstanding of how human beings work, because when people are stressed, they have got busy heads, busy minds full of thinking. And that is disconnecting them really from their innate well-being. So everything that I do now starts with the premise everybody's okay. Not just okay, actually. Everybody is amazing. They have everything they need inside them. they have innate wellbeing, they have innate calm and confidence and resilience, and everything that we're born with is still there. It's like a diamond, unbreakable inside us. But our heads get very busy, we overthink, we get caught up in stories about the past and the future and other people and what they're thinking, and and why we're not good enough, and all the things we think about ourselves, and our heads become very, very noisy. And it is actually that overthinking that releases all that adrenaline into our system and makes us feel stressed and uncomfortable, and ends up us not being able to sleep and not looking after ourselves properly and all those kind of things. It's thought that's driving all of that. So let's go back to my workshop and think about that because I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not funny really, but I when I think about that now, those people came in to see me in a super stressed out state, probably a lot of them, and then I gave them a whole lot more things to think about. And when you consider the model of human beings and how they are and how they work, we're a diamond, we're whole and well, and then we learn to think, and we get conditioned, and we're running a program of thinking. And then I come in and go, well, here's some more thinking to cover up the thinking that you've got already. So we've kind of got the thinking we don't want, and then we've got the thinking that we think's better because it's full of meditation and stuff like that. But actually, what we're doing is taking yet another step away from the innate well-being, that we're made of, that's inside us, that cannot be damaged or taken away. We're just putting another layer of stuff over the top of the diamond. We're making people's minds busier. I made people's minds busier. I don't know because I wasn't inside other people's heads, but I truly believe that some of the people, probably a lot of the people walking out of those workshops, walked out with a head full of noise. And alongside that, some really bad feelings about themselves if they were not going to go away and do those things. So imagine if you're told, this is the thing, this thing, if you do this thing, you're going to stop feeling stressed, you're going to have a better life, you're going to be better at work, you're not going to be off sick. Wow, amazing. And so somebody walks into your life as an expert, which is what I told people I was, and at that time I was an expert in what I was doing. I come in as an expert and I say, well, you do A, B, C, D, and E, you're going to feel better. And then you go home and your kids need their homework, help with their homework. You've got tea to make. You've got kids to ferry to clubs. You've got a job that is taking more hours than it should, and a lot on your mind. And then you've got a sick parent and God knows what else to do. And then somebody's told you, but you need to meditate as well. And the only way you're going to be okay is if you do that. If you meditate, if you do these things, this list of things, then you're going to be okay. And how horrendous if you're a busy working person with a family and everything else going on to believe that you have to do those things to be okay. I mean, it's awful, really, isn't it? Because how awful, again, more thinking, how awful do you then feel about yourself if you can't do those things, if you just do not have the capacity right now to do those things? It must be horrendous. I mean, I was lucky when I was doing those things. I had my own business, so I did manage to squeeze them in to my day every single day. But it took a lot of time. I'm talking at least an hour a day, if not more, some days. So what am I saying here is adding doesn't help. That's the title today, and that's fundamentally the conclusion is adding doesn't help. Now I help people to subtract, to start to see the bits of their thinking that they don't need to pay attention, to start to see that their feelings are okay. And if left alone, they will pass. There's nothing to do. You don't need to add anything else in. The feelings will pass. And that is transformational. That is what really makes the difference. So maybe for you to just notice how many different things are you adding into your life with the idea you're going to feel better. And stay in this exploration. Because, there's nowhere to get to. You're already absolutely perfect, whole and well. Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.